Deputy Harris? Darrell Booth. Hope you like flying. I never flew a fugitive before.
Government witness, not a fugitive.
Ready to go?
Is it always this bumpy?
You get used to it. Moretti's very disappointed in you, and he wants you dead.
Oh, shit.
Mayday, mayday. We've been compromised. Tell me how to fly this thing.
Pay attention. This is the good part.
Damn it!
I'm gonna enjoy this. You ever see a face turn this color before? Huh? I'm gonna tear you apart. Y'all need a pilot?
Flight Risk. Only in theaters January 24th.
Good morning, Owasso. This is
Better
the
late
Twins
than
Owasso
never.
Live, and this is a Monday morning review, Monday morning movie review. So we had a long weekend. We had a long drill weekend, and we were sleeping out in the cold and doing Army Hua stuff. So it's good to be back. We had to get caught up on the news, so we figured we'd do today with the movie review because we were too tired to basically do anything when we got back home. I think I was asleep by 7:30 last night. So we just decided to do a movie review of Flight Risk. So last week we went and saw this movie with our parents, and my goodness, I didn't even know anything about it. Like, my dad was just like, I just got tickets to go see this movie. And I was like, oh gosh, because movies have sucked here of late, like really bad. Like, I can't even tell you the last movie. I mean, Gladiator 2, when we did that review, it was actually decent. It was entertaining, but it was not a great film overall. Like, it was just a generic action film. Is where the first one really resonated. Now, this movie, Flight Risk, is really good. I didn't even realize who directed it. All I heard was Mark Wahlberg was in it, but that was it. But Topher Grace is in it too. Topher Grace is he's the son from that '70s show, and he was the original Venom in Spider-Man 3.
That's right. I completely forgot about.
You forgot he was the original Venom.
That I haven't seen those old school Spider-Man.
Yeah,
the
Sam Raimi Spider-Man is the
Yeah,
original
that's
one with
right.
Tobey Maguire. Yeah. So Topher Grace and Mark Wahlberg, and I don't know the female actress's name actually.
Michelle Dockery is what it said.
Michelle
I have
Dockery,
no clue what
yeah,
she's in.
I don't know much about her filmography. She did well. The movie's good. So like I said, the movie's entertaining. So what's interesting about this particular film, Flight Risk, is it literally has 3 locations total. There are 3 filming locations for this movie. It's a hotel room, an airport, and the cockpit of a plane, of a very small little Cessna plane. So
Yeah, just goes to show you don't need a lot to make a good movie.
yes, it's fantastic. It's well written, well acted, well directed, and again, Mel Gibson's the director. So I mean, I was like, whenever the credits rolled and it's like directed by Mel Gibson, I was like, no way. I didn't know Mel Gibson directed this. I didn't know anything. Like I said again, the film was not marketed well. I hadn't seen anything for it, not really. But again, I've been so down on film that it's just kind of one of those things where you're just like, hey, they're not going to make a good movie ever again, kind of thing. So, but it's good though. So the synopsis of the film is that a disgraced I guess she's FBI, right?
Yeah, she's
FBI
FBI.
agent.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, she's a federal marshal.
Yeah.
Disgraced
US
federal
Marshal.
former disgraced federal marshal gets her shot again to go and do this, but to go and catch a perp who is basically going to be like an informant against, like, I'm guessing a crime family or mob boss who's very well connected. And so they get him. He's a big coward. That's his thing. Like, he is a big chicken. He runs away from stuff but he's an accountant. He's the money guy. So of course he's going to be a non-confrontational type. So anyway, that's how this movie starts. Is the movie's about him getting arrested at the opening scene, and then she's transporting him, and so they get a charter plane to chart them out, and he's hiding in Alaska is where he's at. He's in the middle of nowhere, Alaska. So they get a charter plane to fly them to
Seattle.
Or not Seattle. No, it's to Anchorage, then Seattle. So
Yeah.
they're flying to Anchorage, a bigger airport, to get a commercial jet to take them to Seattle. So they charter a plane, and the pilot gets on board, and it's Mark Wahlberg. And you're like, oh, Mark Wahlberg, this redneck talk. So he's talking, but Mark Wahlberg is doing this bad redneck impersonation. And at first you're like, is this like how he's playing this character? Because it's not very good. And then you realize he's playing that character in the movie because he's faking the accent to try to, he's playing a role because he's actually a hitman that's been hired to kill the agent and the informant that she's getting. So obviously the bigger scenario is who sold them out. It had to be somebody in the federal marshal's office sold them out. So that's what she's trying to figure out. Like, so the movie consists of her dealing with Mark Wahlberg. Also, the only person who knows how to fly the plane is the criminal or the hitman, Mark Wahlberg. She didn't know how to fly a plane. And then she's too afraid to release her informant, so the informant can't help her deal with Mark Wahlberg. So it's a very tense movie. But there's a lot of levity to it. Like, Topher Grace is very funny. Yeah. Like, he's got good comedy. He's not only a good serious actor, he's a very good serious actor, but he's got great comedic timing. That 70s show trained him well for and his comedic timing.
And the other part of this is like her dealing with past trauma and like why she doesn't want to release him as a prisoner or as a witness or whatever is because of the situation that got her removed from her job in the past, which I don't really want to try to give that away because that's kind of like, a big
it's too big of a spoiler. But what I'll say is everyone has motivations. Their motivations make sense. Like, she's not this OP Mary Sue character who's like, she's like Black Widow. I'm better than every man. It's like, no.
She gets overpowered regularly by Mark Wahlberg.
She gets outsmarted, outthought. Like, I mean, like that. It's a good movie. It's well done. It's well written. Again, well acted. It's very enjoyable. It's the reason you go to the movies. Again, you don't have to have a huge budget. You don't have to have a lot of set pieces. Now, again, obviously, this is a higher budget film because they're flying and, this is probably all green screened, the plane stuff. But, so somebody edited all those shots in the background, so that's high dollar stuff. But still, it's, again, this could be this film could actually be a theater play. You could have three people on stage performing this entire thing and it still be entertaining. Mm-hmm. So it's good cinema, it's good entertainment, and Mark Wahlberg does a great job. I mean, Mark Wahlberg uncharacteristically playing a villain. He doesn't play villains very often.
Well, that's not entirely true. When he first started his move from becoming a singer, being Marky Mark and Funky Bunch to acting, he literally played bad guys at the beginning. He played like the stereotypical like
douchebag.
Not even that. Like he played like I don't know. He just played villains. He's like a lot of those guys. You usually start your up and coming in your acting career as playing villains, and then you transition into being the lead.
Hero. Yeah, the hero, the lead. But yeah, Mark Wahlberg did well. Again, his accent. He's selling a poorly done accent, and it works to his favor because again, that accent did not do him any favors. You're sitting there going, wow, Mark. Yeah, terrible acting. But again, he's acting as an actor playing a different character.
But that's part of the big reveal is like, I think, and like the trailer gives it away, is like that he's the bad guy. It's like, do you think that they would have like not shown that in the trailer?
Well, you really can't because there has to be conflict in the trailer for the trailer to be entertaining. So you have to know that one of these three people is going to do harm to everyone else. Obviously it's not going to be the guy who's all chained up in actual handcuffs.
Yeah, but like, it's just my 2 cents of, these big epic reveals are always like all these big epic. You can kind of get the plot of a movie through the trailer now. It's like you can kind of literally, if you show the trailer, you can sum up the entire movie. Whereas like, think if you did that with any of M. Night Shyamalan's movies, like you would, if you gave away.
By the way, everyone's dead.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's dead. Yeah. If we knew in the commercial of Sixth Sense what really happened, you'd be like, well, why did I even go to this movie?
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, some guy did a comedic skit about how it was more believable that his wife was ignoring him than that he was dead.
That's right.
It's like, no, we get it. I understand Bruce Willis's plot in the movie. My wife ignores me all the time. It's like I don't even exist in my own house. But yeah, no, I mean this is good cinema. It's well acted, well directed, good job, Mel. I mean this is a good script. The writer did a good job with all of this. I don't know what else to say. This is the reason you go to the movies. It was entertaining. I was not expecting anything. But again, maybe again, my expectations have been so low of film lately that when you watch something that just holds your attention for more than an hour, you're like, okay, well, I guess it's good.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it speaks to a bigger problem in Hollywood, which is this next like little video I have pulled up, which is Mel Gibson talking with Joe Rogan about, film needing to be entertaining. And like that's the problem is like Hollywood has moved to films need to be either art pieces or things that deliver like a very, very like ham-fisted liberal agenda message.
Yeah.
And that's what Mel Gibson talked about. He's like, first off, a film needs to be entertainment. That's what a film is, and that's 100% true. That's how I don't go to the film to be preached to. I go to the cinema to be entertained.
Yeah, entertained and more than likely inspired. We all want to be inspired by something.
Yeah. I agree with that. And even if you don't want to, like I said, you don't get usually inspired by a comedy. You're just looking to sit there, relax, and laugh at something.
That's true.
But we'll go ahead and let Joe Rogan and Mel Gibson give their little 2 cents here.
It's a fun movie.
Oh, it's a hoot. It's a hoot. I mean, I think the first thing you got to do with any film, and I think it's incumbent upon all directors, artists, to entertain first, in some fashion. Even if it's a heavy story, you have to find some aspect of it that entertains. And I think this, for entertainment's sake, is just fun, and it's quick. I'm not subjecting you to 4 hours of like watching Autism Dry.
Right.
It's like it's 85, 90 minutes.
Yeah,
and
it's
you're
a
out.
good time.
Yeah, and Mark is insane.
Yeah, he's great in it. He plays a good psycho.
Oh, he's a psychopath. Mark's got a good dark side. There's some dark stuff there that he was able to draw from, and every now and then he'd let it out. I can't even repeat some of the stuff he'd say. In fact, we had to cut most of it out. It was like really sick, but we hint at it.
I like.
Yeah. Again, that's awesome. Listening to Mel. I mean, again, Mel is one of the greats. I think Mel is his generation's Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
I mean, Clint Eastwood is one of the few directors that's still. Again, I think they've all gotten slightly worse since, like Sully and all that stuff. I think Sully was the last really good one he had. The what do you call it? What was the one with the mule?
The Mule, yeah.
The Mule was entertaining, but not awesome. It's just a little. To me, it's like a little indie film.
Yeah, to me, the Mule, when he inserts himself in the film, I don't think they're nearly as good. Like the last one that he was in that I was like legitimately entertained in was probably Gran Torino. Yeah, Gran Torino.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like when they start self-inserting themselves in it, I think they,
it takes a little bit out of the piece now. He should move out of the acting role and stay in the director's chair.
Yeah.
And Mel Gibson, again, I think he is this generation's Clint Eastwood. He understands film very well.
Yeah. Said this. The last two right now. This one and then Hacksaw Ridge were like amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, Passion of the Christ, amazingly done. I mean, everything Mel Gibson's bit. I can't think of any film that I've seen of Mel Gibson that hasn't been at least entertaining. He a lot of the stuff he did in the mid 2000-ish after he was going through his divorce and his depression and all that. They weren't grand slams, but they were still entertaining. It's like he stays in that dark noir kind of area. That's where he's been for a while. Like Drag Across Concrete with Vince Vaughn when they did that. The Beaver was a slight change in levity for him. You remember that movie where he had the puppet? He developed a personality disorder and he used this puppet to communicate with people. It was very odd, but it was good. It was entertaining. So I think again, just go look at Mel Gibson's back catalog. Watch all of his stuff. It's all entertaining. They're not all going to be, stuff that you're going to watch over and over and over again, but it's all good. I mean, Mel is one of the greats. Hey, that's Mad Max we're talking about here. The Mad Max, So, but anyway, Flight Risk. I definitely recommend it. If you have nothing to do on a Tuesday night or, you get home and you're just sitting at home bored, go watch Flight Risk. It's good. There's nothing really super graphic in the film. You could probably take your kids if you're not afraid of them seeing like a thriller action kind of film. There is some language and some suggested themes, but overall there's not a whole lot of stuff that I don't think with modern cinema being the way it is, modern Marvel and things like that, I don't think that people will be shocked by anything in it, but it's good. take your older kids to it, adolescent children, not young kids. But
Flight Risk.
yeah, it's good. So I definitely give Flight Risk 2 thumbs up. It's worth the watch. It's worth a sit in the theater and a bucket of popcorn, the price of admission at least.
I 100% agree with that. It was a very entertaining movie. Had me on the edge of my seat the whole time. If it's a movie that you're like regretting having to run to the bathroom or go get a refill of drinks or something, that's how you know it's a good movie.
Yes,
if it's one that just
absolutely.
like, I don't mind leaving.
Yes.
It's a bad movie.
Yes, absolutely. That's the key. It's like if you're sitting there on the edge of your seat going, oh, crap, I really don't want to go to the restroom. That is a good indicator that you're in a good film. Mm-hmm. So, I think that's about it. Was there anything else you wanted to add?
Also, the only thing I was going to add is like it kind of seemed kind of a relevant movie review with all the stuff that we've been seeing going on in the news lately with all the plane crashes to talk about flight risk. So, that'll be tomorrow's episode. We're going to look into more of these plane crashes that happened because a lot of them apparently happened over Friday and this weekend while we were at drill, and we have our phones, but like I'm not looking at the news. Yeah,
we're managing troops and whatnot. Oh, before we go, I guess we could talk about how this movie right here is a perfect. What Mel and Joe were talking about. It's a perfect indication of how out of touch Hollywood is right now at the moment.
Absolutely.
There's a movie that a movie that's getting the Oscar is called. What is it called? It's really dumb.
Hang on one second. I just.
It's like it's a movie about a trans female, so it's a dude that transitioned to become a chick, cartel boss, and it's a musical, and it's like up for all of the Oscars. It's like best musical in 10 years, which press X to doubt. That's it sounds like nonsense. I mean, again, this is how out of touch Hollywood is. Like now that the big mean orange man is back in office, guess what? We're gonna push these trans ideology films because guess what? Who's the most oppressed people in the world again? Trans people. Why are trans people the most oppressed? Because the orange man has declared that there are only 2 genders again.
I got it pulled up right here. It says Amelia Perez, and it's about a trans cartel member, and it's a musical.
Yeah.
And it's got Zoe Sadala, Selena Gomez, and then I don't know who the other
trans
person is,
person.
but it's very, very weird.
This would be like something that would win the Independent Spirit Award and things
Which
like
it
that.
did.
back
That's
in the
why
day.
it moved its way up here. It's
But
won
now
all these independent awards.
Hollywood is so ideologically captured that, hey, guess what? This is the film that's going to win this year because it's politically motivated. It's politically charged. Again, Hollywood hates the right. They hate everything about normal people. They hate everything about common sense. And again, the media and the everyday person used to think films used to kind of come to the same agreement about films. Like Gladiator. Critics and audience both agreed that Gladiator was a great film. Like the score for it was about like 80 to 70 to 80, anywhere from 70 to 90 were in agreement with the film is awesome. And now critics are like, this Independent Spirit film that nobody's going to watch, like the less people that watch it is proof that they're right in their critically acclaimedness. It's like, this film makes sense. Like the way that we talk about it and the fact that you won't see it is why the film is good. If you, the average audience viewer, don't want to see it, that means it's better. Because only a select few of elite people are willing to watch it. Only the tolerant, only the chosen. Well, how does Milton Friedman call them? The anointed ones?
Yes, the anointed ones.
Yeah, they're the anointed. They understand film better than you, and they can tell you why it's better. It's like the same reason why Ghostbusters, the female Ghostbusters flop. They go, Hollywood said, you have to like this. And then audiences were like, it's might be Ghostbusters, but it's not good. So I don't know, folks. Again, it just goes to show you how out of touch and disconnected Hollywood is with the average audience viewer. I don't want to go and be preached at. I don't want to go and watch a movie about the trailer for that film wasn't even good. What was the movie called again?
Which one?
The movie that this female.
Oh, Amelia Perez.
Amelia Perez. Like the trailer didn't even make it look good. Like I would sit there. If you're an average guy my age and you watch it, or even younger, you'd watch it and be like, I don't know what this film is about. And then all of a sudden it says musical, and then I'm out. You know what I mean? I'm out. Mm-hmm. So it's ridiculous. But it just goes to show you that Hollywood gets it wrong all the time. And I don't know. What did you have something you were going to pull up and talk about, Chad?
I have these right here. It's like they have the winners of the thing. Like there are so many other movies that are just like
Better.
Yeah, the better ones. It's like Gladiator actually did win the Best Picture of 2000.
Mm-hmm.
So they've got that year was Chocolate, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Aaron Brockovich, and Traffic. So definitely one there. They actually got it right. But like here, A Beautiful Mind by Ron Howard won in 2001. And guess what else is on there? They got Moulin Rouge and Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Rings.
Yeah.
Who do you think should have won that one?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. A Beautiful Mind. I mean, talk about a forgettable film. Like, A Beautiful Mind was a movie about a guy who was going nuts. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not a movie, like, I will never be like, you know what movie I really want to watch tonight? A Beautiful Mind. No. You know what movie I would rather watch than A Beautiful Mind that didn't win? Lord of the Rings. I can't tell you how many times I've watched Lord of the Rings. I think the original Lord of the Rings is probably the best of all of them, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is. But Lord of the Rings Return of the King actually won.
Yeah, Best Picture.
Best Picture. But yeah, it's just like, it didn't really have much to go with. Like Seabiscuit, Lost in Translation.
Yeah.
And, Master and Commander, actually, maybe that one should have won.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one, too. But, like, it's always controversial when it comes to the picks, because you're just like, how? What determined that?
Yes. Yeah, what criteria are they going by? Again, but
as most people would say, whoever's paying the pollers the most.
Pretty much. I mean, 100% agree with that.
Ugh.
No Country for Old Men, that's a good one. 2007.
Mm-hmm.
What else was there on that year?
2007, let's see. Had Atonement, Juno, Michael Clayton, and There Will Be Blood. Some people would have argued There Will Be Blood should have won
I don't know.
that one.
Juno wouldn't have been a bad one because Juno. But again, Hollywood will never let a pro-life movie win. But again, back then, pro-life wasn't as controversial. Like Juno.
Also, back then, Ellen Page was a woman.
Yes, yeah, no kidding. But yeah, Juno. My goodness. The only pro-life movie that will ever make the list of Oscar noms. But again, the film was more about the clash between the people she was giving her kid to for adoption, as much as it was about her and her life.
Yes. Then 2008 definitely was not a hard one to win. Freaking Slumdog Millionaire versus Milk, Frost Nixon, and Reader, Curious Case of Benjamin Button. It's just like, some of these movies are just like, how did they even get there?
Get the nod.
Yeah,
yes.
exactly. It's like, these movies were not that good. Like, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button is like an awful movie. Like, I fell asleep in it.
Yes, yeah, 100%. But again, it like us talking about these the movies that were nominated in these certain years just go to show you what criteria are they going by? Like, what are they doing? Like, we're the experts in the liberal industry. It's like I think it's a lot of handshaking and a lot of
political. It's very political.
It's very, again, yeah. So I mean, go up to the most recent ones. Like, I mean, like the ones that are the most recent are the ones that are the most out of touch.
Oh, okay. Here's what we got. Oppenheimer won it last year, and it was, Barbie. I remember that Barbie was nominated, for Christ's sakes. Maestro, Past Lives. I don't know any of these movies. Mm-hmm. Killers of the Flower Moon. I know that one, but that's the only reason I know that's because it was shot here in Oklahoma.
And from what I understand, Killers of the Flower Moon is way too long and way too self-indulgent.
Yes, it definitely is. And they said they didn't get the main character. They said they made Leonardo DiCaprio's character the main character when it should have been his wife the whole time. And like I said, he was the primary focus of the movie.
Well, again, you have Leonardo DiCaprio. You're not going to pay Leonardo DiCaprio $100 million to be in your movie and not make him the main character.
Exactly. But look at this. I don't know any of these movies from last year. American Fiction, Anatomy of Fall, Barbie. I know that just because, it's Barbie. Yeah. The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Past Lives, Poor Things.
Why are there so
Zone of Interest?
Why are there so many too? Like, I mean, used to be like 4 or 5, and that was it. Like, there were 4 or 5 films. Like, I mean, even the higher up you go on the list, like, you can see that there are only 4 or 5 nominated that year. Now there's like 6 or 7.
Yep.
It's like they're all art pieces, all stuff that people don't want to see, stuff that people don't have the time to watch or care to watch.
Yeah. It's like, here, and look at this is what we've got this time. I mean, this is probably going to win just because it's the only one that's known is Dune. But the ones nominated this year are Anora, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown,
Which is
which
the
that
Bob
could,
Dylan. It's a biopic.
Yeah.
Biopics tend to win, like the Bob Dylan biopic. Like,
Yeah.
and then Timothée Chalamet he's probably the most overrated actor of his generation.
Yeah, and then we've got The Conclave, which that one could possibly win because it's about corruption in
Oh yeah, the church. They
yeah.
love talking about corruption in the church, but they'll never touch on corruption in Hollywood ever, baby.
Dune, Part 2, then Amelia Perez, I'm Still Here, and that's a foreign film by the looks of it because it says A Dia Esto Aquí. And then Nickel Boys,
And of course,
never heard of
a
that.
foreign film that's in Spanish is going to be up there because, again, Orange Man bad, Orange Man deporting all Mexicans. It's like, and again, not Mexicans, all illegals in general.
And then we have, The Substance and Wicked. Now, The Substance I heard was a decent film because it kind of shows, like, the corruption of, like, trying to stay relevant in,
In Hollywood.
and doing
Just
anything you
social
can to make
media
it.
clout, yeah.
And then Wicked, of course, is just Wicked. It's based off the musical. And, like, the two people in it look awful. They both look like they're dying of bulimia.
Yeah, they sure do. Boy, yeah. Ariana Grande looks like, again, like she's wearing she looks like an anemic person wearing an Ariana Grande suit.
Yes.
Like, let me wear Ariana Grande's skin. But yeah, no, it's just absolutely insane that there's that many even nominated. So it's like, so they're drawing out, they're elongating a process of what the Oscars that nobody's watching anyway. Like, we're all just gonna watch the highlights on YouTube and be like, wow, what a crappy nom, what a crappy performance.
Yes. You know that there's not a good selection when I'm literally looking up there. I'm going, I don't know half these films that are nominated.
Yeah,
what is this?
Again, this is the downfall of Hollywood. I mean, again, Netflix is producing stuff that's never going to get nominated.
No, they have. They said that Amelia Perez is.
Netflix. Excuse me. So, but anyway, but Netflix produces its own content on top of like people aren't going to the movies because I'll just watch the new Netflix movie that dropped on Friday instead of going to the movie theater. I'll watch the new Amazon Prime series or like I mean, Will Ferrell and what's her name, Reese Witherspoon just had a comedy movie pop out on Amazon Prime.
Yep.
About like they're getting double booked at a wedding venue or something like that. So it's just the cinema is becoming less relevant because again we're all watching movies at home from the couches or people are illegally downloading stuff.
Yeah.
So again, I recommend going to go see Flight Risk. It's actually entertaining cinema. Mel Gibson is a fantastic, probably one of the best directors in Hollywood right now, and he's not doing art pieces. He's doing stuff that he finds interesting. I guarantee. Watch that whole Joe Rogan interview with Mel Gibson. It's freaking awesome. Mel talking about like, growing up, just like I want to see stuff that entertains me. If it's not entertaining and doesn't resonate, don't make it. And again, the only thing that matters in modern Hollywood right now is how does it make you feel? And is it against right-wing people? Is it against the church? Is it against Donald Trump? Like that's what's going to get
family
you.
values, whatever.
So again, in the era of Trump, you're going to see a lot more of these art pieces winning because Hollywood is super up in arms now. I mean, maybe Disney and all these other places are going to start understanding that they can't keep doing this DEI stuff. They cannot be making films that are against family values. Because, again, it's not kids that are going to see, especially Disney, because it's not kids going to Disney movies. It's parents buying the tickets for their kids and sitting there with them. And if they watch something with the message that they do not agree, mom and dad ain't buying the ticket to the movie. And they're not buying the tickets to go to the theme park.
And they'll also cancel that Disney subscription pretty quick.
So, yeah, Disney might be doing a turnaround. But the problem is Hollywood, the people that hate you, the average American, they hate the average viewer, that hate your values, they're not going to change because they're going to keep investing in these art films. They're going to keep going, well, we can pay one actor a lot of money to be in this low-budget art piece that should only really cost like $1 million, maybe less. but we'll pay, Timothy Chalamet $30 million to be in this film, and he'll be basically the key marketing for it, and then we'll put it out, and it'll be about him kissing another man, and then it'll win the Oscar that year.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what's going on right now. That's the problem with modern cinema and modern Hollywood, and Flight Risk is a slap in the face to that industry.
Yeah.
It's Mel Gibson's answer to go, I just want to entertain you. And Flight Risk is entertaining. It's a good thriller. So I recommend watching Flight Risk, and, I recommend supporting your local theaters and your local businesses, so go out and do that so we don't just end up having stuff streamed to our sofas and not being able to go and share the movie theater and getting those overpriced popcorn and the overpriced and again, buy that from the theater too. Buy the overpriced popcorn, buy the overpriced soda, because that's the only things that the theater makes money off of. They do not make money off the ticket sales.
Yep, pretty much.
So that being said, this is the Twins with Owasso Live. This was our morning loop and Monday morning movie review. So that's all we've got for you today. God bless you.
See you later, everybody.
Flight Risk. In the director's chair.
Okay, let's go.
In the director's chair.
Okay, let's go. Michelle, you're an accomplished actress. No need to tell you what to do. Just hit your mark. Whoa! Stop! No, cut. Michelle, no, I said hit your mark, not hit mark. Please, stop! Oh. Can somebody see if Mark's okay?
Flight Risk.
I don't like that.
Only in theaters Friday. Tickets on sale now.